Goldman Sachs, JPMorgan, Bank of America. They're already using a crypto network you've probably never heard of. One that handles up to $350 billion in transactions every single day. And almost nobody is talking about it. Welcome to Deciphering Crypto, where we simplify crypto, blockchain, and AI for everyone to understand. Today, we're taking a look at the Canton Network and its token CC. The blockchain Wall Street is quietly building its future on, the good, the bad, and what you need to know. Canton in one sentence. It's a blockchain built specifically for big banks to move trillions of dollars worth of assets privately and legally. Why does it exist? Regular blockchains like Ethereum are like sending a postcard. Everyone can read it. Banks need sealed envelopes. Canton gives them sealed envelopes on a public highway. Market cap is $5.3 billion, connected to over $6 trillion in real-world assets across its ecosystem, backed by Wall Street's biggest names. By the end of this video, you'll know whether Canton is solving a real problem or riding some invented buzz. And I'll reveal one metric that shows whether this project lives or dies. Every day, banks move trillions on systems built decades ago. Settlement, transferring ownership takes up to 3 days. That stuck money is called dead capital. Billions wasted. Blockchain could fix this. Instant settlement 24/7, but there's a catch. Public blockchains are completely transparent. Imagine every Goldman Sachs trade visible to competitors in real time. Under Basel rules, certain crypto exposures can carry risk weights as high as 1,250%, making them impractical for banks at scale. The industry needed blockchain speed with bank-grade privacy. That's the gap Canton fills. Competitors do exist: Ethereum, Layer 2s, Avalanche subnets, CBDCs, but Canton argues those force a binary choice: full transparency or total isolation. Canton claims you get both connectivity and privacy, no trade-off. Let's break this down simply. Canton lets different financial institutions run their own private applications while still being able to transact with each other instantly. Each institution runs what's called a participant node, which is basically their own private ledger inside the network. That means their trades, their positions, and their client data stay completely private. But when two parties want to do a deal, Canton connects them and settles it instantly. That's called atomic settlement. Either the entire deal happens at once or nothing happens at all. No partial trades, no risk in between. Okay, I hope you're still with me, because this next part is where most people's eyes glaze over. But it's actually the most important thing to understand about why banks are choosing Canton over everything else. Under the hood, these applications run on a language called Daml, and it's built specifically for financial agreements defining who can see a transaction and who can act on it and when. And here's the key difference from public blockchains. On Ethereum, validators can see everything. On Canton, only the parties involved can see the transaction. This is called selective disclosure. And all of this is coordinated through something called the global synchronizer. It makes sure that both sides of a transaction update at the same time so the system stays consistent across the entire network. And this is where regulation comes in. Banks operate under global rules called the Basel framework. At a high level, Basel tells banks how risky their assets are and how much capital they need to hold against that risk. The riskier the asset, the more capital they have to lock up. Many crypto exposures are treated as extremely high risk, in some cases up to a 1,250% risk weight. That basically makes them impractical for banks to use at scale. Think of it like car insurance. The riskier the car, the more you pay. Basel works the same way for banks. The riskier the asset, the more capital they have to set aside. Most crypto gets treated like a teenager driving a Ferrari. Canton is trying to be the Volvo. Canton's design, private, permissioned, and compliant, is built to fit inside those rules. That's what makes it usable for institutions. Now, a reality check. Canton claims over $6 trillion in assets across its ecosystem, but a large portion of that comes from Broadridge's repo platform, which alone processes trillions every month. So right now, a lot of the activity is concentrated in one major application. And because Canton is privacy focused, you can't independently verify most of these numbers. In a trustless industry, this is a system where you actually have to trust. Think of CC like arcade tokens. To use any app on Canton, you need tokens. Spend them, they're destroyed. That's the burn. The network mints new tokens as rewards. That's the mint. The goal is equilibrium and 2.5 billion CC per year. What's rare? There was no pre-mine, no pre-sale, no VC allocation. Canton positions its tokens model around earned participation rather than traditional pre-mines. 62% of rewards go to apps driving actual usage. But who decides which apps get rewarded? A relatively small group of around 40 super validators, companies like Visa and Goldman Sachs. That's a significant insider control. CIP 0105, approved March 2026, requires super validators to lock 70% of their earnings. That removes about $2 billion from circulation. Bullish for supply, but it reveals how much insiders have earned. CC trades around 14 cents, and there was an all-time high of 19 cents. With 38 billion tokens circulating and $5 billion market cap, it's already large cap territory. Canton was built by Digital Asset Holdings, founded in 2014. CEO Yuval Ruz came from algorithmic trading at DRW and Citadel. He's testified before Congress. CTO Ratko Vepric has a PhD from ETH Zurich and 25 years in tech leadership. In June 2025, they raised $135 million from major financial institutions. These aren't speculative crypto funds. These are the companies that run global finance. The team and backers are among the strongest in crypto. The concern isn't who, it's the structure. Risk 1, centralization. 40 super validators control token flow. Risk 2, opaque metrics. Risk 3, and this is the one metric I promised you, it's the net supply change. Are more tokens being burned than minted? If yes, CC is structurally deflationary. If no, the token slowly bleeds out. This single number tells you everything. Risk 4, concentrated usage. Risk 5, competition. Risk 6, regulation. 4 major catalysts for 2026 to pay attention to is institutional expansion, integrations, validator growth, and funding. Canton has a track record, and things are shipping. Bull case, DTCC launches, burns exceed mints, real-world assets grow to 18 trillion by 2033. Bear case, partnerships stay shallow, inflation kicks in, a decentralized competitor emerges. Base case is steady institutional adoption, slow burn utility, not overnight fireworks. You might be thinking, this is all about banks. Why should I care? Because if Canton becomes the rails Wall Street runs on, holding CC is like owning a tiny piece of that highway. The question is whether the toll revenue actually reaches token holders. All right, arguments for investment. They have strong backing, real usage, and compliant design. Arguments against is centralization, opaque metrics, and a very large supply. Alternatives do exist. They include Ondo Finance, Mantra, Polymesh, Ethereum, and Avalanche. By the way, if you're looking to buy CC or any crypto and want to work with real humans, I use Caleb and Brown. Referral link in the description. If you use the ref link, thank you for supporting the channel. All right, so Canton might win as a network, but that doesn't guarantee CC wins it as an investment. Credible doesn't mean guaranteed. Here's the bottom line. Canton is solving a real problem, but the question is this the future of finance or just the old system wearing a new uniform? Watch the burn rate. That'll give you your answer. Let me know what you think about Canton. What projects are you bullish on? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. None of this is financial advice. Crypto is risky. Always do your own research. You can do it. You're smarter than you think. See you next week. Take care.